Warm welcome. Sorry for being a little later than usual. This is Anwar Ali, and you are live on my YouTube platform, arunfoot. Welcome back. Friday evening. This will be a shorter edition, so we'll keep it crisp and quick. And let's talk about the things that are happening in Indian football. And the biggest thing, so to say, to speak about, of course, is the Anwar Ali case. There was a hearing today. There is no decision, no final decision from the All India Football Federation's Players Status Committee on the matter. So therefore, we will have to wait and see what final outcome, and it's going to be interesting because the matter, I think, is not sorted. It will be discussed, and then they will, decide on it later on, most probably, in some sort of form way. I'm not sure, 100% sure how it is. A lot of people hoped or expected that there would be an outcome today, but that has not been the case, as I would have expected. The FF Player Status Committee heard the matter. They listened to the arguments from the two sides, and in the end, it was decided that it's something that will have to be heard again. So again, it's not a one-off. We discuss it, we talk about it, and it's done. There might be, there are different sides to the story as always, but at the moment, there is no decision from the matter will not be sorted in the AFFPSC. I think the matter will go to high authorities, most likely to FIFA, and maybe even to CAS. As I've said from the start, this is not an easy thing, because normally when a player, normally when we go to the PSC, it's about non-payment of salaries to players. But in this case, we have, so therefore, to me, let's wait and see what happens. No decision as of today. Nothing actually to report about. But again, people are speaking about it, making their opinions heard about things where there is nothing to speak about. And to answer Deepturaj's question, Ranjibhar Mohan Bagan bound to give NSC to Anwar. Is it so? According to my reading, no. Why would they? The case has not been sorted. What is he talking about even? That is my concern. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens, and that's something that we'll see. Hi Sanskar, I go to Renal back before I jump in. Why none is using good coach like Steve Herberts? Ask the clubs why they're not. He's working with a club, so let's see if he gets to another one. Hi Shushmit, welcome back to the platform. Is there a precedence ever that FA is in trouble in such cases? Do you see FF in trouble for not implementing loan deal sooner? Shushmit, there is a transitional period from 2022 to 2025, so it's on the AFF. To me, that's I don't see the AFF getting in trouble for this. I think the question now is that I think the PSC is taking its time, because the PSC wants to give the right decision. The PFC does not want to rush a decision and then potentially make a mistake. I think that's what the PSC is trying to do, trying to be correct, trying to be right. And that's also the challenge then for the PSC. The PSC has to try and find means and ways of how to best solve this case in the interest of on one side the player, but also in the interest of the club. And there are multiple parties involved. So therefore, I don't see this being decided at the PSC. I do think whoever is going to lose will go likely to FIFA, and then it could go to CAS. So this most likely, my feeling was and is, this will drag on for a little while in Anwar in the interim. Again, the question is what kind of an interim decision maybe the PSC could hand out, but it looks likely that Anwar might not be playing anytime soon. So that's the danger that he finds himself in with such a situation. Nishant, welcome back. Good to see you back. Welcome back. Sanskar, reaction of Mumbai City FC was to how ISL trophy winner get humiliated from FC team who does not even finish top four. Sanskar, I think the question that needs to be asked is that Mumbai City it asks a question about the reserve team. It asks a question about Mumbai City FC's not grassroots, but youth development program. I think grassroots is quite good, but the question is, how are you getting players through the system? And then they'll most probably have to ask themselves the question: is the B team a priority for Mumbai City, or is it going to be something that the club needs to look at and try to build on and try to change? Because at the moment, to me, very, very clear, the setup, the team is not good enough. That's the clear thing that I see from such a result, which in my opinion is for a Mumbai City FC, not acceptable. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what they do. I've tweeted about it as well, so I hope Mumbai City take the right decision to try and take it forward. Can the player play for a club when this arbitration is on? Shushmit, normally not, except if he would go back to the club that he was playing with. But in this case, I don't see Anwar Ali going back to Mohun Bagan and playing for Mohun Bagan. There were efforts on to try and do something and try and sort out something, but that has not happened. So therefore, my understanding would be that that the player would likely stand suspended, except of course if there is an interim order from the PSC which allows the player to play. But the question is, where is that player then allowed to play? Because then we have a lot of questions that need to be answered, and then the PSC would itself maybe overstep its remit rather than it going to FIFA to the players tribunal. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens on that front. So I checked Deutsche Football Academy rules for kids education. They gave equal parts education, but in India, these star stakeholders don't focus on good quality education to their academy kids. Nishant, education as something, as a focus in Indian football is not given at all. Yeah. And to me, education is a very important thing, because in modern day football, if you're not switched on enough, if you don't sort of have the intelligence to be able to digest and work on the things that the coach tells you and does with you, you will not be able to do the thing. So therefore, that's a challenge. That's a huge challenge, and therefore, that the German curriculum has been upgraded over the last 2+ decades, multiple times, and that's where it is. Sanskar, but most of the Mumbai City FC youth players just joined this with transfer window, so it's too early to judge them, and coach also, or their fault. It is. Listen, you're wearing a Mumbai City FC shirt, and then it is the fault of the players and the coach. And if the players are not ready for this level of football, then the question is on the club, on the coaches. Is it the right team to send to such a tournament like the Durand Cup? So these are the questions that Mumbai City needs to ask itself. And the B team has not been doing too well over the years. I think that's something that the scenario is, and I hope that Mumbai City sorts out. It's the grassroots is strong. The youth system hopefully will build something, but it's not there yet. So therefore, I hope Mumbai City sort these things out and make are stronger in the months and the years to come. Hypothetical scenario: if this drags on for 1 year and then in case Anwar gets a 6-month run, does that mean he's already served his ban and start from judgment day? In this hypothetical scenario, CAS can come down on him and say that you have already faced a suspension. Therefore, we, I don't know the English term for it, but I'm not a lawyer. But it would mean that that if he's been suspended for, let's say, 12 months, then that's a 6 months would be minused, and then he would be free to play potentially. But there are other scenarios where CAS could come down on him heavily and say, listen, what you've done is so bad that we ban you for another 6 months. So he might actually be then out for 18 months. And it's a question of how CAS interprets the ruling and the rules and regulations, how they interpret the contract, how they interpret the local laws in regard to transfers and loans, and therefore, what is the termination clause? Let's see. Bro, it's better to not participate in Durand Cup rather than getting thrashed from KFC main team. Sanskar, ISL teams have to take part in the Durand Cup. That's the rule at the moment. Are you able to play the first team? That's the question, or not. Mumbai City this year decided against it. Last year, the first team played, and they faced the music. So, yeah, let's see. So yeah, check in Germany and England academies give training 2 hours of 2 hours of training for 5 days a week, and they're producing good players. And our star Segos are not able to do it 5 hours every day. Nishant, to me, it's not only about the hours of training. It's about the quality of training. I think that's something that we need to understand, that it's not just about, hey, listen, I'm training, therefore I'm going to be good. The training has to be of a certain quality. And if the matches are not of a certain quality, then the training goes to waste. That is something which we need to understand. It is not about, I'm going to play 5 hours and I'm going to be great. No, if you are not doing the right things, for me, if you do 1 hour of good quality training, the right training, then it's better than if you're slugging out. And we have our players are not spending time on the field. Ask them, of those 5 hours, how many hours are they spending in the gym? As I've been saying, our players spend too much time on the gym, not enough time on the field. If those 5 hours daily were on the field, brilliant. But they're not. Then they say, oh, it's too hot, is this, is that, whatever. Your dose of training. I remember in the first season of Mumbai City, one of our players, one of our legends, told me and said, listen, the Indians seem to train wrong. One of the first things he observed and told me. And I couldn't agree with him more. So these are the realities of how how you train and how you practice and prepare for. Again, it's like saying, we were playing matches and that's good enough. No, it's not. You have to play the right opponents. That is the challenge that we have in Indian football. Are we doing the right things? Are we taking the right steps? As always, yeah, that's the thing. Therefore, these are basics for me, but a lot of things wrong. I was speaking earlier today with a friend who's from Europe, who's done a lot of things or tried a lot of things in India. He says it's been a waste of time. People don't want to do those things. So therefore, that's a huge challenge. Thanks, Sushmit, for that. But thanks a lot. And in general, those of you who are listening, please like this stream. If you haven't yet, share the stream if you can. Subscribe to arunfoot as well here on YouTube, on my other social medias, arunfoot.com as well. Visit it. If you haven't, and those of you who are following, thanks a lot. It means a lot to me that you guys are following and supporting. And trying. If you want to see what I've done so far, also in parallel to the lives, done a few videos. Did a video last night in regard to the investment in Mohammedan sporting from the Shrachi Group, Shrachi Sports, and earlier, of course, the Future of Indian Football series, which is very, very close to my heart. Guys, watch it. We have done so far 5 episodes. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Good evening, Akanksh. Welcome back to the channel as well. Do you have Odisha seen news of H fraud? No, it's not, Nishant. It's not H fraud in the Durand Cup. It's H fraud in the Dr. BC Roy under 19 nationals, and it's not Odisha FC. It's Odisha State, if I'm right. So therefore, So therefore, for me, it's not the only one. We will have more, and it's the same thing. It's like the Premier League's Next Gen Cup. How many of our players are under 21 or under 23? It's an easy question, and all of us know the answer, sadly. But point is that if Anwar and Umar, both parties want long-term contract, then why the loan deal? Sanskar, that's I think initially, if I read it right, the loan deal was done to keep Anwar off the ISL franchisee base salary restrictions. And I guess also for Delhi FC to be earning money, not only for for once, but earning money, reoccurring money every year over a 4-year period, or maybe even depending on, maybe I don't know, they've got other payment windows. So therefore, that was one of the reasons, and I think the LAFC wanted to have control of the player, and so therefore, I think that's the reason why they have done this. And again, Mohun Bagan have not only Anwar Ali but also Glenn Martins on a long-term loan deal. So it's something that the club has done not only once but twice in regard to contracts of players. So therefore, yeah, these are the realities, right? That's how it is, and therefore, guys, at the moment, this scenario is there where it is. It's disappointing to say the least. I have to say that a player of Anwar's stature, of a national team player, is where he is. So hopefully that gets sorted. Yeah. Right. Other things to speak about, guys. If you want to throw me questions or other things, again, Durand Cup is still happening. So therefore, those are things. Let's see. There is, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Akshata, welcome as well. Thank you. Good to see you, Akshata, here. And the point is, again, what I've said from the start, if we go back to the Anwar case, the player has terminated the contract without a mutual understanding with the club, And then Ranjit does that tweet, which he does. It looks like they're looking. And the loophole doesn't work. And again, my point is why don't you do the homework? Why didn't someone call up East Bengal, the AFF, and ask, guys, is this valid? And to me, yeah. And then this whole khichdi now is there, which is not good for the player, not good for the club. But at the end of the day, it's all about money. That's what I feel very, very disturbing, to say the least. So how long UEFA grassroots lights in Germany, in India, it can complete in 5 days. Nishant, I think there are courses which you can do over a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So they might be even shorter, some of that. Yeah, if you want to do the basic, I think it's the basic is the C over here, yeah. Women's football, thoughts on Andrew's move? Actually, I'm gonna. It's been all interesting, spending on the women's team as well. Big one. Again, Gokulam Kera look to be in trouble financially in general. So that's going to be interesting to see also in the I-League besides the IWL. Interesting will be also, of course, now the whole situation with the investor, because the investor is Shachi Sports, who's come in. Shachi Sports has now yesterday invested in, or is going to invest in, Mohammedan Sporting. So even though it's men's and women's football, but there is already a conflict of interest, in my opinion. You can't be stakeholders in two different entities in the same league. But otherwise, yeah, interesting one. Let's see what he can do. For him, who has been able to work in a calm and quiet environment, see, to me, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what East Bengal really does. Anwar deal exposed a club players' mentality. It's like I think it's more exposed the players. The clubs have been spending, right? A club like Mohun Bagan has been spending. You see, East Bengal is spending. Yeah, even a Mumbai City, an FC Goa, Kerala Blasters, and Odisha. All these clubs are not paying bad money. They're paying above market rates. So therefore, I think the players' mentalities in regard to salaries. I think at the end of the day, Anwar and his people saw that other players are coming to the club and earning much, much more. So his initially great 4-year contract suddenly didn't look as great. So therefore, to me, that is something which you'll have to work on, and therefore, yeah, to me, it's something which is not nice to say. What would your suggestion if you were with Anwar or you are Anwar joining Mumbai or East Bengal? I would have told Anwar not to get into that situation. That would be the first thing I would have told. If I was involved in any way with Anwar, I would have said, listen, if you're not happy with the contract, go on with Mohun Bagan and try and find a solution. Try and find a solution which works for you and which works for Mohun Bagan, right? Try and find a deal. Is there a possibility of getting a permanent deal? And if it doesn't work now, you might have to wait 1 or 2 windows. Maybe you would have to wait the winter window, or maybe you have to wait the next summer window, and then change the deal. 2 years down the road, maybe change the status of the deal and make it a permanent one. But the route he's taken, if my understanding of what is available, then yeah, but you don't do it the way he's done, right? And you're trying to find loopholes, try and get found of it. Again, it's also interesting to find out how does he have a 5 + 5 year contract with Delhi FC. So there's a lot of questions to be asked in the background on all of this. So favorite team in Bundesliga would have to be Bayern Munich. So how Bayern Munich get big shoulders like Audi, Allianz, Adidas in their club, and why other clubs don't. One of the reasons is that these, Allianz is based in Munich. Audi and Adidas are based in Bavaria state. So and then again, these are amongst the biggest. Bayern Munich is the biggest German football brand. Allianz, one of the biggest insurances in the world. Audi, one of the biggest German car brands. Adidas, one of the biggest sporting brands, and that's how they come together. And again, Adidas has been sponsoring Bayern, I don't know for how many years, 40 plus years, I guess. Allianz and Audi have been around also now for, I don't know, over 2 decades. Do you think Apuya deal affect Anwar deal or not? I think, yes, it did. Yeah. It did, because Anwar was seeing suddenly what Apuya was earning. I think that's one of the problems in this whole discussion, right? It's about money. It's not about fostering, improving your career. You're with one of the best clubs in India, right? And you're getting game time at Mohun Bagan, Super Giant. So those things could be another player might be, but that's not, again, the only scenario why you can terminate the contract is when you're not getting paid, or you're being mistreated or mishandled or whatever, not handled properly. Those are things, but none of these things have happened. So therefore, I said from the start, and I stick to what I said, that the player is at fault. Does Anwar's scenario make lack of accountability in a system? No, I don't think it's lack of accountability. It's rather a lack of understanding the rules and regulations of football. I think that is exposed. This is not about if we talk about accountability, then yeah, where do we start and where do we end morally? This is purely about speaking about that the player has has broken his contract. Yeah, it's that. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's just that the player has broken his contract to get out of a situation. Right. So that's the thing. Yeah, Shushmit, this is about greed. Exactly. I think that's the challenge. So therefore, for me, this is something where players need to learn in the past we had the problem that players used to sign 1-year contracts and they were sort of free agents after every year. So the good ones are sought after, the ones who are not performing well are kept to the side. Yeah. And greed is. I fear that the players are not committing themselves to the level that they should and need to be able to showcase themselves as wanting also to play for India. The performances of the recent past, is something which is very, very worrying. How do you see player benched regularly? Is player not good enough or it's common? See, the players are benched because either you don't fit into a system, you might not be good enough, or the coach just wants to use another player because he has the option. Do you think our Indian football grow with these breaking transfer record and ISL giving giveaway to areas? No. This is not. This is not breaking transfer records and spending so much money. What are you spending it on? That would be my question. What are you spending it on? You're spending it on players who you could sign for, I don't know, 1/10, 1/20 the money. They wouldn't become better, right? That's the challenge. That's the problem one would face. No, that we are talking about players and they're being of a certain level, and it's difficult. I feel it's very difficult, very, very difficult. How does the other player terminated contract? On what basis player can terminate contract? Non-payment of salaries, Murali. That's the whole point. So therefore, I don't know if you've heard, but Hyderabad is pulled out of Durand Cup. I have been hearing these rumors. So it's confirmed, Shushmit. Have they? One second, let me just look at Twitter. Have they confirmed it themselves? I heard that this was a danger that was potentially happening, but I haven't heard anything, so to say. Just let me check. Yeah, they haven't tweeted anything for a while. So if that's confirmed, that's very sad. But okay, yes, Shushmit. Again, Hyderabad is in a situation. Very sad, and I think they're moving towards shutting down. I've said that earlier. That's my fear, and I think, except if there's some wonder, even Mohammed is quoting the investment is a wonder, but there needs to be some wonder for Hyderabad FC surviving. Another off the topic, what a match between Lakshya Sen, first Indian balance player to reach the finals of the Olympics. No, I haven't seen it. Sorry, driving was out. I'm actually out. I'm not at home, so I haven't watched it though. जब तक हिंदी में बोलूं क्या कि इंडिया में ज़्यादा पढ़ने लगे लोग इंडियन फुटबॉल नहीं देखते और इसमें आपका व्यूज भी आएगा. It's a problem, and but there are people who are educated and who watch football but don't watch Indian football. That's the problem. Yeah. Sanskar Monma, East Bengal are not professional. That's why it become a big issue. If one club seeks, okay, we don't want him, so this matter not become big. These two clubs have been fighting over players for decades. I'm about to say a century, but these are realities. And the question now is, how does it work out for the player? That's been Hyderabad shutting down with 80% chance. Sanskar, I'm not going to put a number to it, but it looks to me very, very likely that that Hyderabad FC could be shutting down very soon. Hazard terminated Madrid contract because of injury or lack of performance. It was a combination of lack of performance and injury, both sides, Yeah. Sushmit saying for Mohan, it's not a matter of we don't want him. If we let him go, everyone will break contract. I think it's a very key point. No? That's the danger which we are in this whole Anwar situation discussion. Because I feel the point here is that if Anwar is allowed to leave, then other players will do the same despite having long-term contracts, be it loan deals or finals. Or I take another example, right? That's to me Greg Stewart. Greg Stewart said in the winter he wants to leave and he wants to go home. Now a few months later he's back. So can you believe it? So that's the reality. Why Mumbai is so professional about that? Because the right people are involved in the club. What is Roshan Rumours going to other club or stay in BC? At the moment, I'm not sure. There are rumors in the market, yes. But again, he can play so many positions. It would be foolish from BFC to release him. This is the question of a precedence. You don't want to set such precedents. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Manolo Marquez. Welcome back. Hello, sir. Everton FC and United beat East Bengal FC under 23-16 getting health check every day. I told you yesterday, right? Again, even if we win or beat them, what difference does it make? These clubs will celebrate it like it's something that is we're unable to compete with English under 18 players. That's a reality. Anwar Ali update. Ayush, there is no update. First hearing had today, no decision. Will be at least another hearing, and then we'll see what outcome it has, and then it will most probably go to FIFA. And also, if decision not come in favor of Mohan Super Giant and Mohan appeals, then can he play football? We'll have to wait. Manor, that's an interesting one because I think there is a power of the player status committee to allow Anwar to potentially play, but the question is where can he go? Because that is linked to us, yes, and I don't see them allowing him to go somewhere else to play. His only option is at the moment, given the contract situation, that he can play only for Mohan Super Giant, in my opinion. Again, I might be wrong, but that's my opinion. That I think that his only option is to play Mohan Super Giant. If any other decision is taken, he will be suspended. That's the reality of the situation, in my opinion. Right. So that's the challenge. Does Anwar Sinha make warning to other players there will be consequences or be careful? Yeah, of course. 100%. 100%. Say your opinion on halftime show in Copa America final. Do you think it's good for revenue or fan engagement? It's first of all, it's good for revenue and it's good for fan engagement. The question is, do you then expand the halftime to 25 minutes for that? That's the only question. Couldn't you do it pre-match? Would be my question to CONMEBOL, who's done a lot of things wrong. We speak about the AFF, then look at how CONMEBOL organized the Copa America. Shameful. Too positive to negative of ISL apart from salary. Well, I've been saying this. Two positives: infrastructure, broadcast. Negative, biggest negative, of course, is the lack of interest of broadcasters to come forward to pay for it, and the lack of growth of fan interest overall. I think that's another one. People are saying bullshit that referee is biased for Villa, he whistle for time, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Are we really saying we're challenged? Again, yes, they will set a precedence and how tight or loose the contracts are enforced. Exactly, Shushma. That's the point. Rahul KP to Ismail, I don't understand. They had Nanda Mahesh where Rahul KP play. Nanda is injured, Sanskar. So I don't know how serious the injury is, but he was supposedly injured and had problems. And again, This is happening, no? Concentration of players. How many days will Anwar get banned if it applies? Can court intervene in FIFA and AFC issue? Well, I said 4 to 6 months would be the ban, and no courts can intervene. This is a pure football matter. If he goes to a normal court, he could get banned even longer. Mohun keeps saying that they'll gladly take back Anwar because they want to settle this. I'm okay. If Anwar doesn't listen, who has left no option but to legally pursue it. And that's the situation, right? That time window of mutually discussing, finalizing, sorting this out, that time is gone. So Mohun Bagan and Anwar Ali are now in court, and they'll have to settle it in court. That's the challenge now for these two sides, to try and settle something, which they will have to see how they can get out of it. Mumbai does have popular football. That also reason is that weak junior team. Nah, nothing to do with it. Do you know which legend have his birthday tomorrow? I think Sunil, right? Sunil Chhetri, I think, has his birthday tomorrow. Why do Copa fallen down? Is it man or something else? Morally, it's the management. As a fan, I don't want Anwar to ever don Mohun Bagan jersey, but that's just me. Yeah, that's an interesting one, right, Rishmit, that I've heard from multiple fans of Mohun Bagan Supergiant, or hardcore Mohun Bagan fans who say, you know what, we don't want this player to return. It's an interesting one, right? Because it's a tough one, and we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, there's too much. There's a German saying, "There's too much water gone down the river." Normally, here we say the Rhine, but in the context, I'll say gone down the Ganges, and therefore there is no. He's crossed the point of return. There's no point of return now anymore, in my opinion. That's why that's a problem. One positive thing in Indian football, your opinion? That we still have hope that things will get better. That's going to be the one positive thing, in my opinion, that we are talking about football, that we're trying to, understand things. So I thank you guys who are joining on a regular basis, that we talk about these things and try to improve. It's a very difficult thing. But we have to try and make Indian football better in the long run, because it can't continue the way it is at the moment. Things are really, really bad. But I don't understand Anwar leave Mohun Bagan because Mohun signed 2 foreign players and he thinks it's game time effect. But now if they also foreign centre back does not affect game time. Sanskar, it's not about the foreigners. It's not about game time. It's about money. Paisa ka khel. This is nothing to do. Do you think in olden days we can manipulate contract right now? Yeah, olden days, of course, contracts were manipulated. Players signed on blank sheets, and then the contract was made up on it, and the player suddenly realized he's getting much less than was told earlier. As a neutral fan, I want Anwar to join a club which suits his playing style. Yeah, Gaurav, but again, I'm fine. He can sign for any club. In my opinion, Anwar can sign for any club. But if he has done something wrong, and in this case, it can be proven that he's done something wrong, then Anwar has to face the punishment. Sorry to say that. And it doesn't matter that he's a national team player. It's one of most teams faces the punishment. It's like the clubs facing FIFA bans, transfer bans from the AFF for non-payment of salaries. Player also has a duty to his club. It's not a one-way street to say, listen, I'm paying you, you play. No, both sides. That's the problem. Is Kokrajhar Stadium eligible to host ISL games in Northeast? Play some home games there. Karunesh, no, the stadium is not eligible to host ISL games. It's not eligible to host ISL games. And again, it's not a venue that I think Northeast United is looking at, to be very, very honest and serious with you. Do you think the people who wants to improve in football, but they are not in power, if they have power, it will be good, but people run as don't care? See, if the right people were running it and they were allowed to run it in a proper way, of course, morally it would be better, right? So that's the reality where we stand at the moment. First time here. Do you think ICC team should sign more players from Japan, Korea, or Iran rather only from Australia? Australian players are not that good, other than a handful of them. Welcome, sports dude, to Iron Foot. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you like our conversation as well. I think the Aussie factor is one thing. Also, is language. With English language, and therefore I think the clubs are choosing Aussies rather than looking at players from Japan, Korea, or Iran. I mean, some of the biggest names that have played on Indian soil have been Iranians, yeah, Jamshid Nasiri, Majid Bhaskar, Japanese players as well. So language is an issue, and Aussies are in that way easier to integrate into teams, and I guess that's one of the reasons why you bring. And Aussies are these days a little cheaper than most probably players from Iran, Korea, and Japan. What did the PFC say if they did? What are you assuming that might happen in coming days? Arithro, I don't officially know what you know what they said, but again, to me, as I've said, I don't think it's going to be decided in one go. This is something which will take a few rounds, and then they'll discuss and try and take it forward. That's the thing that's happening now, and therefore, I think, I think we will have to wait and see what transpires in the next few weeks, and then how it goes forward. Do you believe some football academies perform better than others? It's about academic philosophy or money? Nishant, it is about philosophy. It's about also the coaches you have. Sometimes it's about money. There should be different factors. Should Anwar be selected for September? No, I don't think so. Agree with you. If the situation remains as it is, he shouldn't be picked. What consequences will East Bengal Moza face if Anwar joins either of the clubs? Arnav, he is a Mohun Bagan player. So if he returns to Mohun Bagan, then nothing happens. If he with East Bengal, the whole contract situation is supposed to be looked at. Yeah. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. Shillong Stadium looking good after renovation. Yes, agree. When you say player will be banned, what about I-League? Can Anwar play? No, he's banned from all football around the world, all professional football. So then myth of Mumbai City FC development project is broken up the international era. Guardiola, they played with a new reserve team. You can question it, but I think Mumbai City will learn its lessons. And then let's wait and see. And again, you're playing against a top ISL team with young boys. So therefore, loss was likely anyway. Shillong Rajang versus Juwan Army match was good to watch, except some poor finishes. All right, Chandu. What are the chances of his withdrawing from ISL? Will FF allow another team to transfer with corporate entry or invite an I-League club? Riza, I think the chances of Hyderabad withdrawing is becoming bigger and bigger. But I don't see them adding another team, except maybe, I don't know, maybe there is some sort of deal with Srinidhi, and Srinidhi takes over the Hyderabad franchise or takes up the spot of the Hyderabad franchise. So let's see. This situation helps Indian football fans to understand both good and bad sides of Ranji Bajaj. Yeah, Gaurav. If you can explain me the good ones, that would be nice. For fun, I'm asking how you ever felt Germany FA running not good in case you felt India ever runs football just for curious. See, the German FA has had its own set of scandals and own set of problems. So no federation is perfect. Northeast United can use Giant Stadium Shillong for a few of the ISL games. New stadium, the pitch looks quite good. Chandu, it needs to be cleared by the ISL, and there are certain rules and regulations where I think Shillong as a home venue would be tough. Mohan Super should try to bring Harry Suter from Australia. What an underrated player. Yeah, but Harry Suter will not come to India at this stage. Maybe in 3, 4, 5 years. What's the end game of the Anwar saga? Sanskar, I guess the end game is that one side will win this, and either Anwar gets banned and others get banned as well. So therefore, let's see what happens. Hi, Mayank. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. Do you think Indian players can go and play in Russia as we have a good relationship with Russia? I think Russian league is really good. Our players can develop their game there. Sports dude, the Russian system in Europe is out of the system, and it's a country which is in some sort of form or way at war. So I would not like Indian players to go to Russia. IFF will go in panic mode if I say anything at this moment. Wait for the interim order. Okay, let's wait and see. Google and Factor FIFA, I think they've done a decent job. Yeah, they've done a decent job. If it wasn't a 5 year, it's a 4 year deal. Do we need psychologists for players getting in semi-finals and losing it out, even beating world champion without being ranked and losing the lead of 6 point gap? Look at doing it like coaches also. Psychologists are there. Is a huge need. Aishan, what do you make of Ismail signing Hector Eustace? I think he's been building a strong defense. Hector Eustace is a great signing, and I would love to. Sorry, didn't ask Malvin, but can you please shed some light on Modern Sporting investor situation? Riser, I've done a video on that. Watch it, a 5 minute video, an explainer video on the investment. Have a look at it. And that explains it all. I think that's the easiest. Can we see one Indian player playing for Bayern Munich in a lifetime? Nishant, I would love to see that. But do I see it? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's wait and see what happens. So therefore, that's something. Right. If Jay McLaren, why not Harry Suter? Because Guardiola, because he plays in, at a higher level and is still young. Maybe in 5 years' time. Guys, I have to break this off today a little earlier. I have to head somewhere. Thought I'm on the road. I'll do this quickly, and chat with you. Those of you who haven't, please subscribe to arunfoot. Heading towards the 1400, and also watch the latest video. I said Mohammed Sporting investor, and I'm working. I've done that last night, so therefore have a look at it, and I'll be back very, very soon. This was a shorter one, so now Chaudhary. Tomorrow, a proper session, a longer one. Thanks and good night.